My husband made me believe I was sterile to manipulate me. When the doctor told me I had never had any problems conceiving, it felt as if the ground disappeared beneath my feet. For 10 years, I had carried the idea of being sterile, echoing my husband's cruel words, "The problem is you." In that instant, I realized my entire marriage had been built on a lie. I met him when I was 26. Arturo was older than me, an elegant man whose confidence captivated me right away. At first, he treated me like a queen, always with flowers, attention, and promises of a future filled with children and laughter at home. But after 2 years of marriage and several failed attempts to get pregnant, everything changed. He was the first to suggest I get tested. I remember him holding my hand as we walked into the doctor's office, pretending to be supportive, but he never let me see the results directly. He was the one who spoke with the doctor, who walked out with the papers in his hand and told me, "I'm sorry, love, there's nothing to be done. Your ovaries don't work properly." I would cry silently while he held me, whispering that he loved me anyway, that we would accept it together. The years went by, and every argument ended with the same dagger. "You can't give me children." It was his way of silencing me, of reminding me I should be grateful that despite my defect, he stayed with me. My friends started having families, and I made up excuses to avoid baptisms. I felt ashamed, as if I were less of a woman. 3 months ago, we argued because I found suspicious messages on his phone. A woman wrote him affectionate things, and he denied everything with infuriating calm. In the middle of the fight, he threw the accusation at me again. "Who else would put up with me if you can't have children?" That time I hated him, but I still wasn't ready to face the truth. It was by chance that I decided to get a full medical checkup. I wasn't looking for answers, I just wanted to take care of my health. When the doctor explained I had no fertility problems, that my body was perfectly capable of conceiving, I froze. I asked for the results in my hand and almost fainted. A wave of rage and humiliation tore through me. That night, I confronted him. I showed him the results and demanded an explanation. Arturo, with a coldness that shattered me, simply said, "I never wanted children. I never did. It was easier to make you believe the problem was you." He didn't apologize. He didn't hesitate. He confessed that he feared losing his freedom, that children were a burden, and by convincing me I was sterile, he ensured I would never insist. I broke down. I cried for hours while he slept beside me as if nothing had happened. For days, I could barely look at him. I felt deceived, as if 10 years of my life had been erased. The worst part was the calculated cruelty. He had never cared about the pain he caused me. He needed me submissive, guilty, and he succeeded. I began to see him with new eyes. I saw his selfishness in every gesture, his manipulation disguised as affection. I remembered how he had isolated me from my friends, how he made me feel useless so I would depend only on him. I discovered the woman in the messages wasn't the first. There had been others, convinced I would never leave because no one wants a sterile woman. Anger turned into determination. I stayed silent, but I began to plan. I found a lawyer and learned I could file for divorce on the grounds of deception and psychological abuse. It was hard to admit, but I could no longer stay tied to a man who had played with my mind that way. The night I asked him for a divorce, he tried to laugh at me. "And what will you do? Find another man to give him the children you never had?" For the first time in 10 years, I looked at him without fear and replied, "I will, and they'll be with someone who doesn't hate me for existing." His expression changed, his confidence cracked, and I saw something like fear in his eyes. I packed my things and went to my sister's house. Arturo called me several times in the following days, mixing threats with pleas, but it was too late. I had recovered the truth, and with it, my dignity. Today, I am still facing the scars of that lie, but I also feel a new strength. Arturo stole years from me, made me believe I was broken, but he didn't destroy me. And although it still hurts, I know that closed door has opened the chance to begin again.